Okay, we now have DCAC and DELAC.
Good morning, members of the board.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And exec staff. My name is Ari Ederisinga Aga, and I'm an administrative assistant with the Office of Equity, Access, and College and Career Readiness. Today I have with me my current DCAC board. They are Ms. Aguirre, Ms. Sandoval, Ms. Miranda, and Ms. Loaiza. They are here to share the DCAC recommendations with you. I want to take a moment and acknowledge our board from last year for their contributions to these recommendations. They are Chairperson DJ Gibson and Anna Sandoval, Vice Chairperson Maria Teresa Loaiza, and Recorder Roxana Avila. I also want to thank our current board for their hard work around these recommendations. Chairpersons Anna Sandoval, Clemencia Crespo, Vice Chairperson Maria Teresa Loaiza, Maria Miranda, and Recorder Jessica Aguirre. Before we dive into the recommendations, Ms. Aguirre is going to share our DCAC objectives.
Good morning, my name is Jessica Aguirre. I'm stepping in for Chairperson Clemencia Crespo, and I'll be reading the DCAC objectives. Act as a liaison between the district and the schools in order to promote parent participation at school sites. Provide academic assistance in the planning, developing, implementing, and evaluating of Title I and categorically funded programs. Disseminate information at school site relatives to parent programs. Provide access to training for parents to maximize their roles as partners in education. And present to the District Board of Education advisements in matters related to parental involvement in funded programs. Thank you.
In order to prepare for these recommendations, the District Community Advisory Committee looked at LCAP data at the January 2019 meeting. They also took some time and looked at Title I effectiveness by looking over the goals of the LEA plan, the Local Educational Agency plan, and then in small groups, they revised, edited, and added to the recommendations from 2018. Then, as a whole group, they discussed the recommendations and gave their input and came to consensus around what we have in front of you today. So before we get started, I wanted to point out a couple of things. Recommendations 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, and 12 remain unchanged from 2018-2019, and those are denoted in white. Recommendations 1, 3, and 10 have revisions, and those revisions are denoted in yellow. Recommendations 13 through 15 are brand new. And now I'm going to have Ms. Sandoval, Ms. Miranda, and Ms. Loaiza share those recommendations with you.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Ana Sandoval, and recommendation number 1, teachers, school staff training, parents in English language or math and other critical topics such as A through G, SAT, PSAT, career pathways, SVA, C, etc., in order for parents to assist students to succeed in school. Recommendation number 2, execute technology purchases to bring computers up to date to meet the students' needs. Also provide parent trainings in the computer programs and applications that are used in school so parents can assist their children at home. Recommendation number 3, create parent leadership programs for all parents, with an emphasis on assistance or early childhood, pre-K parents to introduce the LBUSD system. Recommendation number 4, create additional continuous training for all teachers to better serve special education students, African American students, Pacific Islander students, at-risk students, long-term English learners, and English learners, specifically emphasizing reclassification training. Recommendation number 5, provide prevention and intervention support and services to continue to reduce the achievement gap for special education students, African American students, Pacific Islander students, long-term English learners, and other at-risk students. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Miranda, and I present recommendations 6 through 10. Recommendation 6, provide more parent involvement and parent education training at all schools, including setting participants to conference in order to empower and training parent leaders. Recommendation 7, create and provide more inviting, safe, and welcoming climate, community atmosphere for all sides, for all cultures, parents, and students. Recommendation 8, reestablish district parent center and encourage sites to establish parent center, parent resource room to better engage and service parents. Recommendation 9, expanding female and male leadership program at the school to provide more opportunities for underrepresented students. Recommendation 10, expand tutoring and another intervention program that emphasize context-specific instruction to meet individual needs of non-profit students, including before, after school, Saturday school, double-size, course, and summer school, also considering pre-K students. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Maria Loesa. Recommendation number 11, expand summer school opportunities, especially for transition grade level. Explore adding social emotional agronomy set instruction for summer programs. Recommendation 12, work with the college partners to provide quality transitional counseling and mentoring services to students, including goal setting, course planning, and guidance from current college students. Next are the 3 new recommendations. Recommendation 13, expand programs of instruction to the educational system to new families, including civic education. Recommendation 14, ensure that school sites have resources that are necessary to implement recommended programs, especially programs designed to close the achievement gap. And recommendation 15, provide workshops on values and character building that contribute to a safe, civil, and productive school. Thank you.
For your reference, in tab 4, we have the DCAC parent trainings that we had last year. In tab 5 is our meeting schedule from 2018-19 and 2019-2020. I want to thank our parent involvement team, made up of Executive Director Robert Tagorda from EACCR, Assistant Director James Suarez, also from EACCR, Jessica Aguirre, Staff Secretary from EACCR, Sam Kyo, the Parent Coordinator from EACCR, and Gloria Rubalcaba, our translator from the Office of Curriculum, Instruction, and Professional Development. Thank you for having us here to share our recommendations for 2019-2020, and we look forward to sharing our progress with you.
Thank you for that report. Questions? Chris?
Well, the board will
Yeah.
go first.
Anyone?
I have more of a comment than a question.
Go ahead. I just wanted to thank the parent leaders who commit a ton of time to do this work. So we heard about the Parent Policy Council for Head Start in the earlier group, and they're the ones who meet about our youngest learners, and you guys are doing tremendous work on behalf of a lot of schools. I've attended a couple of your meetings this year. The level of knowledge in the room, the participation is extraordinary. So that's due in part to your great leadership as parents and role modeling what engagement looks like for your school site. So I just want to thank you for your hard work and your colleagues who did the work the previous year.
Also, in looking at your list of recommendations, I can see these recommendations are well conceived, and how these recommendations will really have a deep impact on our district, our kids, and being able to move our kids forward. So thank you for that.
And if I may, go ahead, Jeff. I have a question actually for the parents, but go ahead, Lourdes. Buenos dias.
Buenos días.
Good morning, everyone. Apologies for being here late this morning. Precisely following up on the comments from Board Member Kerr, I'd like to get a sense, given that there is so much time and effort and energy involved at this level of work and advocating for students and working with other parents, I'd like to get a sense of any ideas that you may have as to how we can strengthen and increase parent engagement so that we have even more parents involved in these recommendations, these issues, attending meetings. Any thoughts on how we get more parents involved? ¿Les gustaría que la pregunta la haga en español? ¿La hago en español?
No, está bien,
¿Sí?
está bien. Nada más estamos queriendo ver quién se la podría contestar,
Okay.
quién quería contestar. I'm sorry. So, ¿quiere que se la conteste en español o en inglés?
Como gusten. Do we have interpretation?
Okay, so we were just trying to find a way who will be the one to answer the question. Will be so great. I mean, we're trying to get as much parents as we can. I was sharing with the principal at Garfield the other day. The first thing that we see as a parent is how we are welcome to the school. If we find a very good environment, we will feel very welcome and we'll welcome back. And we'll be like very, we will be like very, I can't find, no, I can't find the word in Spanish also.
It's Spanish.
I just can't find the word in Spanish either. I'm sorry. We feel confident, thank you, confident to come and support our kids more, because they will feel more. I mean, my daughter is one of the girls that make me go back to support the school more and be more involved, because she was like, Mom, why don't you come back to the school? Why don't you help them? Because I do really want. So as long as we work as a team, as long as they see every part of the school district involved in our school, I think that will be awesome. Because as parents, we want to see everyone involved. We see as the superintendent, the board members, the parents, the students, the teachers. We also went to the Dr. Noguera dinner. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there was one thing that he shared, and it just got into my brain. You know what? When our students feel like they having fun, they're gonna learn more easier. They're gonna learn more, and they're gonna feel like, I do really want to go to the school. So I think the one thing that we need to, as a parent, is just feel comfortable. That will be like, we will, our kids will see that, you know, it will reflect that, and our kids will feel like we want to go to the school. I know my mom feels good. I know my dad is happy that we go, and I feel like that. I want to go to the school. And they were saying, Dr. Noguera also shared that there was a kid that was telling, how do you do this? How do you get involved? And he said, well, you know what? We also grade our teachers. And one teacher was like, you won't believe this. He told me that I was very disorganized, so I'm doing my job now. I'm doing better. So I think that our kids, as a parents, a teacher, and everyone has a voice. So I think that as much as we get involved, everyone in the student education, that will be awesome for them. I think that I spoke too much, right?
Actually, and thank you. So one of the comments that you shared right now, and I appreciate you thinking in English and Spanish about the question, is this feeling of feeling welcome, right, at the schools, of inspiring confidence. So I'm wondering if you and/or other the parents, as a district, what do you think we can do to support parents to create an environment that's welcoming, given that in your recommendations, several other recommendations, it's to strengthen parent involvement, to increase parent trainings. So how as a district do you think we can strengthen this culture of being more welcoming and of inspiring confidence so that more parents feel as empowered as you do?
Maybe it's just one thing that I'm just thinking, right? Having the honorable member of Megan Karen coming to our meetings. That was awesome because there were parents seeing her there at the in the meetings. So they were like, we are being heard. So probably might be just a dream of just my dream. But what about coming you, everyone of every district, you, Dr. Benitez, Megan Kerr, Diana, every one of you coming to the schools of your district, of your area, maybe coming once in a while, visiting the schools, being able to communicate and having more relations with parents, they will feel more supported, like, oh, you know what, we are being heard. Maybe it's just my dream.
That's great. Yeah.
Maybe.
Great.
I'm sorry, I hope I'm not making any trouble to anybody.
I asked
you're
the
doing,
question.
yeah, I think you're doing a much better job than you're giving yourself credit for. We
you.
are listening and we are taking notes, and those are all very good suggestions. And I think it's a great idea. I appreciate our colleague, Mrs. Kerr, attending the meetings and everything. And I know for myself, if I have an invitation to come to a specific meeting or something like that, it makes it easier because I can put it on my calendar, and that way it gets to my calendar directly. But I will make more of an effort to come, because your group, all the groups, should know that we do care, that we are listening, that the student success relies on parent involvement. And I know that you're not just involved in one group. You're involved in many groups. I know you come to a lot of, Maria, I see you at events and other meetings, so I know that you care, and I want you to know that level of care is matched, not just by us, but pretty much everybody in this room.
Thank you. And as you just said, it's a group, we are a team, and believe me or not, just seeing you guys in a room with where we're having a meeting, that makes us feel like we need to be more professionals. We have to do our better job. We have to do or give our best. So I think that also will be reflected at the school side with the teachers, with parents feel heard.
And I have
I'm
two
talking
asks.
too much.
So if I may take your picture, because I want to tweet it out later, so.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Then I have a comment, so.
Oh, my God. Thank you. I'm in trouble.
I'm not very good at this one. So first of all, thank you. This is a great example of parent engagement, but I do want on your recommendations to all, some of them already been, are going to be implemented. So on number 6, parent involvement, the board allocated money. So you have, I think, $50,000. So you could actually use that money to go to conferences and other things. So that's totally, the 7 parent groups that we have here in the district all have different resources, around 300,000 in total, and you guys, I believe, have 50,000, if I remember correctly. So start spending that money so that we want to see that. The other one on recommendations 10 and 11, as you know, we had Saturday school at many schools and summer school last year at selected schools. All Title I schools have been given the directive, as the Assistant Soups know, to have Saturday school as well as summer school. So, and many of them have incorporated growth mindset activities last year and will continue. So we'll have some of the principals come to your future meeting, Brian and Chris, so that we can share what those are, because our schools are, after the winter holiday, we'll be talking about that. So the only schools that will not be having those activities at Title I, for example, Stevens Middle School is having major work where kids cannot be on the campus. So if a school is being painted, for example, the outside of the school, we can't have students on the campus because of lead abatement. So there are only a select schools that will be that. But we'll probably have about 26 additional schools, and we're actually expanding the grade levels. So your issue of transitioning issues. So I just wanted to point that out. Those are great examples of you going to be implemented ASAP. So thank you very much. So.
Just one more. Thank you for the invitation. I think it's super important that, as you mentioned, board members attend these meetings. But it does, for me, make me think of sort of potential scenarios. So let's just take me as an example. So if I'm visiting schools, I'm wondering what the best way to maximize your efforts and your voices are. So whether it's meeting with parents outside of these meetings, because all of us, I think, visit schools, right, and interact with parents and interact with school site staff and principals. So I'm just wondering, like, what's the best way for parents to feel that they're being heard and that these recommendations are going to result in sort of concrete strategies and actions from the district, in addition to us visiting individual school sites. I'm just wondering, is it better to meet with parents outside, of these settings? Because, in these settings, you all know there's an agenda. We're there to listen, of course, but we also want to be able to engage with you. So just kind of throwing it out there because, I think we all visit schools and, as you said, Diana, there's different meetings that we're attending. I'm just wondering what the best way to convey to parents that we're listening, we want to engage with you, is in addition to our individual school site visits. So keep that in mind, and we can follow up on what the best way is, versus 2 or 3 of us showing up to one meeting, and we're obviously there, but we want to make sure that we are able to engage with you as well.
Do you really want us just to keep it and give it to you later, or do you want us to?
Oh, we can have a conversation about it, but if there's something that you want to add.
Yeah, well, if you prefer, I don't know, it's depending on the time that we have, because I've seen people, but if you prefer, we can have and talk later. That will be better for the the time, maybe.
Yeah,
That's great.
Thank you.
We can take that back to our committee and get something back to you.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
just
to everyone.
Very quickly, in terms of visiting your meetings, if we can get just the dates and times and locations for your meetings, we can have that information. And Chris, on recommendation number 2, execute technology purchases to bring computers up to date to meet public student needs Also provide parent training in the computer programs and applications that are used in schools so parents can assist their children at home. I think we may have a bit of a problem in certain areas with access to Wi-Fi. And if we've done a survey of our community to find out where we have gaps.
We have. So the latest data that's come out is about 92% of our students have Wi-Fi access. There are certain, when I'm going to use the term, dead spots in the city. Dr. Lund started a year ago advertising, and Dr. Kales continue it on low-cost Wi-Fi, and hundreds of our parents have actually taken us up on that. There are some special programs. I think last year we had over 400 families that took us up on that. And as you well know, you have allocated millions of dollars to refresh their Chromebooks. And this month alone, 24,000 Chromebooks have been going home to students. And students are very thankful. I know parents are, because we've received hundreds of emails from parents and letters. So this is a good thing, but it's a lot more to be done still.
Okay.
And so we're working with the city and others to, but it really is about infrastructure out in the community, because the students, some of them will stay outside our buildings to use our own Wi-Fi. And we do have hotspots, especially for our English language learners who are newcomers at the high schools. Many of the students take us up on that offer, and some don't, to be honest with you.
I know you said Dr. Lund started that initiative last year. Maybe at the spring workshop, we could get an update
Oh,
on
absolutely.
with our community partners, what the city's done, and kind of some progress that's been made. It's more comprehensive. Great. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very
Thank-
much to everyone, and I just want to acknowledge that she, Dulnari is doing like great job with all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you so much. Okay. We have the dual immersion folks coming up, and I know we have some. Oh, okay, second. Okay.
Good morning, President Williams.
Good morning.
Board members, Superintendent Steinhauser, and executive staff. My name is Martha Insminger, Program Specialist at the Office of Equity, Access, and College and Career Readiness. It is my pleasure to introduce to you our District English Learner Advisory Committee officers, our DELAC President, Ms. Dewi Valerdi, and our Vice President, Ms. Erika Leos. The purpose of our presentation today is to provide a general overview of the work that our DELAC committee has been actively doing to support our English learner population in our district. This support is provided in various ways, such as analyzing English learner data, reviewing procedures and criteria as it relates to the reclassification of our students, trainings to parents to ensure compliance with the legal advisement task as mandated by state law, and gathering input from stakeholders to provide recommendations to you in the form of programs and services for students who are identified as English learners. I have provided a copy of our annual report detailing some of the tasks aforementioned. At this time, I would like to draw your attention to tab number 1 in your report. Our meetings are held at Martin Luther King Park on the first Monday of every month. For your convenience, I have provided you on the next page our DELAC meeting calendar for the 2019-2020 school year. On tab number 2, as DELAC coordinator, I provide in-depth training to ensure that our DELAC members who represent the ELAC committees in our district receive the pertinent information to carry out their legal advisory responsibilities. There are 11 advisement tasks which are outlined in this section. Throughout the school year, our DELAC committee reviews and provides input on these legal advisement tasks, some of which are review and input on the single plan for student achievement, the reclassification criteria, and the process in which our EL students are reclassified, the annual language census report data as a district and at their individual school sites. They also review and provide feedback on programs and services for English learners during the development stages of the district LCAP. Moving on to tab number 3. Tab number 3 highlights the various committee trainings I have coordinated to build the members' capacity and knowledge to provide purposeful and meaningful recommendations. We have been fortunate to count on the expertise of district administrators, executive staff, and community agencies to provide some of these informational trainings. Some of these trainings, just to name a few, are developing an effective leadership team, the English Learner Initiative, high school readiness guides, and the LCAP Federal Addendum. In tab number 4, this section provides the 16 recommendations the DELAC committee provided to the board during last school year. Upon review and consultation with the committee, the unanimous vote was to revise 7 of the 16 recommendations. To facilitate the identification of the revised sections on the recommendations, I have highlighted the text for your convenience. We will only review the recommendations that have been revised, and we will present one new recommendation that was approved by the committee recently. At this time, I would like to invite our DELAC officers to present the revised recommendations to you.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Erika Leos, soy la vicepresidenta de DELAC.
Good morning, my name is Erika Leos, and I am the Vice President of the DELAC Committee.
El comité, después de capacitaciones y consultas, recomienda que el distrito número 2
After much consultation and training, the DELAC Committee recommends the following recommendations.
Número 2, continúa identificando a los estudiantes que necesitan servicios de intervención en el área de artes del lenguaje del idioma inglés, con enfoque a la comprensión de lectura y matemáticas, con el propósito de brindar servicios individualizados para dichos estudiantes.
Recommendation number 2, these are the revised ones that we're going to go through. Continue to identify students in need of interventions in English language arts, focusing on reading comprehension and math in order to provide individualized services for these students.
Recomendación número 4, apoye el establecimiento de un ambiente escolar acogedor a través del cual se proporcionen servicios de personal bilingüe en la oficina principal, personal que hable el idioma de los padres de familia y entienda el tipo de servicios de recursos que se encuentran disponibles para los padres de familia y los estudiantes que están aprendiendo inglés, estudiantes EL, en los planteles escolares que tienen altos índices de estudiantes EL, y el personal para enfocarse en un enfoque más personal al trabajar con los padres.
Recommendation number 4, support a welcoming environment which includes bilingual office staff who speak the language and understand the services and resources available for parents and ELs at the sites with high EL population, and staff to focus on a more personal approach when working with parents.
Recomendación número 5, los sitios escolares necesitan invertir el tiempo en los padres y deben hacer un mejor trabajo al proporcionar comunicación entre las escuelas y los padres.
Number 5, school sites need to invest time in parents and need to do a better job in providing communication between school and parents.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Dewi Valerdi. I'm DELAC President.
Good morning,
Yeah, I speak in English. Okay, go on with the recommendations. Number 6, provide and implement and monitor assess highly effective instructional intervention programs in developing oral language proficiency, reading and writing in English for all ELs, RFEPs, and LTLs, to include an update to parents and other advisory committees on what programs and services are being provided at the school sites. The number 7, provide parent workshops to build capacity on specific topics such as CA dashboard, LCFF, LCAP, and SSC to better understand how each functions. Number 9, continue to implement high-quality teacher training for all adopted textbook series with a special emphasis on the ELD curriculum adoption. Number 11, district to continue to promote parental engagement and to motivate parents to become more involved in their children's education and to increase opportunities for parents to attend parent workshops to ensure that they can support their children at home. Number 12, provide more parent involvement and parent education trainings at all schools, including sending DELAC representatives to conferences in order to empower and train leaders. And we add a new recommendation, the number 17th, to access the periodic review of the authorized and agreed upon DELAC recommendations in order to understand the effectiveness of programs and services for EL students. Thank you to you.
To continue with the presentation, at this time I would like to draw your attention to tab number 5. As a result of the developing stages of some of these recommendations and the overwhelming recurring demand to provide informational trainings that can empower parents to make informed decisions, not only as an advisory committee to the district, but as direct participants in the educational process of their children. In response to these requests, as DELAC coordinator, I have developed an EL Parent Leadership Institute that is embedded into our DELAC schedule. I have added an additional 6 meetings to accommodate the request of the committee to receive further trainings. The purpose of the Parent Leadership Institute serves a twofold focus. First, the Institute aims to empower parents while building their capacity on various topics that the committee they have requested, such as the California Dashboard, the LCAP, focusing on the 8 state priorities, LCFF funding, and the State Seal of Biliteracy. Secondly, the Parent Leadership Institute will facilitate hands-on and practical applications to train parents in order to support their children at home. These training sessions will include topics such as comprehension reading strategies, vocabulary development, and thinking maps to support writing. As DELAC coordinator, I envision these EL Institute trainings to become the platform that will educate parents in depth and catapult them into leadership positions and facilitators to disseminate this information to other EL parents district-wide. As our work can attest, our DELAC committee has been actively engaged in supporting the district's mission to provide the necessary programs and services for our English learners. Therefore, the collaboration of district administrators, teachers, and parents is vital for our students who bring their own specific challenges and talents. When we provide a strong foundation with the support systems in place, parent advisory members become knowledgeable to serve as leaders in our school sites. They become empowered to make informed decisions, and most importantly, become examples for their children to thrive and become successful. We would like to take the advantage of this occasion to formally invite you to attend our DELAC meetings. Thank you to Board Member Megan Kerr for being a regular attendee at our meetings. On behalf of the DELAC committee, we thank you for your continued support and thank you for your time and attention. Any questions? Okay.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Questions? Questions?
Mr. President, I know we're running a little bit behind on the agenda, so I have one question and then I'll make a recommendation for a future agenda item so that we don't take up a lot of time. With regards to the new recommendation, I'm wondering if you could provide a little bit of clarification as to what access means to our periodic sort of reviews and updates on
En la última recomendación,
recommendations.
¿qué es lo que ustedes quieren?
Okay, yeah, of course. En español, ¿puedo? I'm going to speak in Spanish because it's better for me. Okay, es una situación que los padres han estado solicitando
It's a situation that the parents have been asking for
para saber, o sea, conocer si todas estas recomendaciones se están realmente tomando en cuenta y quisiéramos tener una plática ya por parte del distrito, ya con un acercamiento hacia el comité del DELAC, para ver reflejados los avances, ya sea en estadísticas, porcentajes, lo que ustedes van siempre trabajando anualmente.
So it's a way for us to know and really check up on all the recommendations to see if they're really being kept into account, and so that we could go ahead and gather and have a talk about what are the progress or what has been done in regards to the recommendations.
Realmente propondríamos, tal vez dentro de las mismas reuniones del comité, unas 2 visitas, solamente para tener una plática.
In reality, we were thinking of proposing maybe a couple of meetings within the committee, just so we could go ahead and have dialogue.
Eso sería todo.
Thank you. So it's more about getting updates and progress, reports versus not having the ability to access data? Okay.
Yes, Dr. Menendez,
Okay, thank you. And then and I'll make this in the form of a recommendation. I'd love for our board to consider at a future agenda the possibility of, and sort of what would it take in terms of finances and resources, having one or more of our board meetings in the community. I see again the parent engagement, supporting more parent involvement here in the recommendations as well in the revised pieces. So I've mentioned this in the past during my board reports. I think it behooves us at least to take a look at. I know we've done it in the past as a district, rotating school board meetings in the community. And then, again, advertising this as ways for us coming to the community and for parents to engage us, right? Given that our times are difficult for parents to attend, the distance to our offices here. So for a future agenda, I'd like for us to consider rotating some school board meetings in the community in our school sites. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Can I just make one quick comment, Dr. Williams? I just want to echo again, thank you to our parent leaders. You were in the room when I said it before. I mean it for your group as well. The level of participation and engagement in the meetings that I attend is pretty phenomenal. And I think one of the things that I love most about your meetings is you have this great business meeting where everybody's learning, and then you transition, and there are fantastic pastries and coffee into a community building activity. And really just sitting and talking and being together, and what a great model that is for you to take back to your school sites. So thank you for doing that and helping our parents learn how to do that within their own school communities. I think 2 things that the CAC committee does that has changed over the last couple of years that we might want to consider for these is, I know within the CAC, they take a meeting in probably late winter, February, March, to have a specific meeting around where they are on the recommendations. And I know that they have also invited the board members to come to one specific meeting, and they give us notice to put on our calendar so that families who have students in the schools in the areas in which we all represent, that we can sit with those folks individually and just kind of get to know them. So those are 2 things that the CAC committee has instituted that might be a great model for the work that both of those committees are doing.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
but thank you again for your hard work.
Thank you.